everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today I've got my budget 2020 video to share with you guys. Stella went down for a nap and I real quick took a shower and got ready, so I've got like floppy wet noodle hair. I just really wanted to film this because I just went over the budget, wrote all the information down. I just didn't have time to film it yesterday, so I've got all the information written in my iPad and I want to share it with you guys. I just did my goals video yesterday, so it got me thinking more about the budget. I'm really excited for what's to come this year, but it is major budget stuff. So first, let's do a recap of 2019. I had a really lofty goal in the beginning of the year. This was before getting pregnant with Stella, and I had a really lofty goal for how much I wanted to get saved, and I did not even get anywhere close. Basically, once I got pregnant, all the no spend, the budget goals just went out the window. I ended up pretty much doubling our grocery budget most months. I guess I wouldn't say most months, but a lot of months we went over our groceries big time, like $800 and $900, and it's just crazy. It's way too much. And we ate out a lot. It was just a really weird, bizarre time. So our budget is totally horrible during a lot of my pregnancy. And then we had a baby, so that came with a lot of expenses as well. We bought a lot of baby stuff. Pretty much I got every baby product that I wanted. And then when she spit up a ton, we got other baby products to keep her on the right incline. So it seemed like we bought baby product after baby product, and it was just a lot. Also, Christmas hit right in the middle of me being super postpartum, super hormonal, and I went crazy and got way too much Christmas stuff. It was way over the amount that it was gonna be. And then Johnny bought my laptop on top of that, which is like $2,500. So that was on top of all the already spending too much. So with all of that said, we did not hit our lofty savings goal, and it's mainly my savings goal. He couldn't care less about that part of it because we already have our emergency fund. We already have so many months of expenses saved. We already have our retirement fully funded, our HSA fully funded. And so I'm just talking about like gravy on top. The savings amount I want to add to our savings for the year, I got like about half of it. So it was way off from my really lofty goal. But honestly, we just bought what we wanted, didn't care about the money, and just went overboard. So I want to rein it in this year. The hormones are getting a little bit better regulated. We've got a big thing coming up. So when I looked at the end of the year at our net worth statement, it was still really good. We still saved money. We still added to all the other things that we always max out every year. And so I feel good about that. We also in 2019 started investing a bigger chunk. And so I'm really happy with that as well. It's just we did not hit that savings mark. I suspected we wouldn't hit it to begin with, but I wish we would have gotten closer. Like I wish we wouldn't have had a couple of months where we spent like $900 on groceries, because that is excessive, and we definitely could have gotten away with a lot less than that. It just really came down to I didn't give a flip. Like I was kind of in survival mode that whole year between the beginning of my pregnancy onward, with the pregnancy, with the moving into the rental, and then having a baby. It's just like the whole year was a blur, especially with the money. I didn't care, and we're gonna try to do better this year. Looking forward, it shouldn't be quite as much of a mess this year. I feel like I totally was gung-ho about the no spend, and then all heck broke loose when I got pregnant, and we're trying again for this year. So as far as big changes, we've got 3 things coming up. One, obviously we've had a baby, so that will add to expenses. That'll be diaper expenses and also little things that will come up. Number 2 is we're buying a house in the matter of a couple of months. Looking at building, they were telling us like end of May, so I'm thinking, okay, it'll probably be June. And they have just flown through building this house. They started it earlier than we thought they would start it. And now we're looking at like early April. So we're like cutting 2 months, and now they're saying possibly mid-March. So we're like, we're going to be moving in a few months. That speeds up our timeline, and now I'm definitely on a no spend. I'm trying to cut down our groceries so that we eat what's in the house so we don't have to pack stuff and move stuff. I'm also not buying anything extra, like extra things that we want, because everything we buy is going to have to be packed up and moved. So I'm really just in that we're almost going to move mindset. We're decluttering, getting rid of things, and not buying anything. The only thing I did buy, and it happened to be 15% off, I bought new storage for her playroom. You can see like these, where is it? These boxes here, they stack, and I just needed to get her playroom under control. So I bought those boxes. It was $111, and that's the only thing I plan on spending until we buy the new house, as far as like householdy things that we're gonna have to move with. We're getting rid of a lot. I've sold off some of the baby things that we're not using anymore, and I have a couple more things on my list I want to sell off before we move. So that's the big big change to our budget. It's going to cause this no spend in the beginning of the year. Then we're going to try to live like we're broke, like really broke, because we are going to be paying a massive down payment and it's going to take a lot out of our savings, and I really want to build some of that back up. We'll still have emergency funds, we'll still have so many months of savings, but it's going to take a big chunk out of the savings, and I'm just mentally not ready for that. Like, I want the money in the bank, so we're going to really try to beef that back up for the rest of the year, and then we'll reevaluate come 2021. So it's going to be a really lean year for us because we're making this massive expense. So the house itself, the mortgage payment will change quite a bit from our rent payment, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's talk about our big change number 3. Olivia starts kindergarten. So our big change number 3 is Olivia is getting out of private preschool and going to public kindergarten, which is huge. It's a big expense for us every month. This goes into getting the house. The house costs more, obviously, than our rent, and it's offset by not having to pay for private preschool, and we will still be in the positive. And so we'll be dropping the private preschool, which is really, really expensive. At the same time, we're getting a higher mortgage, and it offsets, and we still come out way ahead. So it's just working out really well. We'll have a couple months of overlap between rent, mortgage, and preschool payments. So a couple of months are going to be really rough with all that stuff at the same time. But once we get into the new house, we will be paying less in the new house without private preschool than we will be now. Like, we pay more now than we will be paying in the new house once everything is said and done. So I'm really psyched about that. We put Olivia in preschool for her year 3 and her year 4. And with Stella, if we do preschool, we're only going to do year 4. When that comes in 4 years from now, we will reevaluate and hopefully not pay for a really, really, really expensive preschool. But we'll have to see. It probably will be expensive if we put her in preschool. I think it's expensive because if we were back in Illinois, it would be like $400 a month. And we're looking at this payment being in the 4 figures every month. And the payment for the whole year is in the 5 figures every year. It was a really hefty financial thing. And if I feel like Stella needs it, she will go into preschool as well. But for the time being, my plan is to only for that year 4 have her in preschool, if at all, because she does have the bigger sister, and I feel like she'll have a lot more social time, she'll learn a lot more, and I can do a lot of the preschool stuff at home. I just couldn't do the social stuff, and I really tried. I tried to plan play dates and things. So I thought the best thing at the time was Olivia having preschool. So this turned into a whole preschool rant, but without that preschool payment, we can afford the other house really easily. We've already been paying more than that every month. So it'll be a couple of months of overlap, and then it'll be really, really nice to have actually a lower payment and a better house. So anyway, those are the 3 big changes. My goal is, I don't really have a set number in mind, but my goal is to just cut back. My main goal is to just stick to our categories and do less spending. I'm not gonna say no spending because we are gonna be buying a house. I mean, as far as a no spend year, that's probably the worst no spend you could possibly do, is buy a house and commit to paying the biggest expense of your life. So I'm not saying it's a no spend at all, but I'm going to really stick to our strict budget this year. So as far as our categories, it stays mostly the same categories I've had. It's basically the same categories. I haven't even changed amounts. So if you watch the 2019 video, it goes over most of that. So I've got a category for Olivia. It's going to be the category for kids, and it's going to be $50 a month. I think it was the same last year. And then I'm changing the groceries and household budgets around. So I did groceries as strictly groceries, nothing extra like toothpaste and that kind of thing, mouthwashes, deodorants, all that stuff. That went into household. So I'm going to combine that kind of household stuff into the groceries, and I'm going to include diapers in that as well. So that category went way up, and then I'm going to have a household category that's just for strictly house needs, like if we need to buy a box of nails, if we need to buy air filters or filters for the fridge or things like that, that comes out of that strictly house budget, and that's going to be $50, and that's pretty small. And so that's not going to include a lot extra. Like if I want more picture frames, I've got to work it into the other categories and the excess of categories. So that's partially my goal, is to have the set categories, and if I am under for the month, I can use that for extra stuff. If I want candles or picture frames or things that you want when you buy a new house. You want those little extra little touches. So I will add that in as I don't use the whole number for the month. And so with all that said, some of the category numbers change. One of them being that grocery / house product one. I don't know what category I'm going to put cleaning supplies in now that I think about it. I'm going to say like personal hygiene and that type of grocery stuff in one. And then household numbers is going to be the things I said, like boxes of nails, hooks for the wall, things like we actually need to make the house work for us. And then also cleaning supplies. So I'll put cleaning supplies in that category for the $50 a month. But with the groceries, including diapers as well, and things like shampoo, baby shampoo, that kind of stuff, I put that one up to $7.50, and that covers all of the groceries. I put it up pretty high at $7.50, but that's got to include all her diapers and things too. So I definitely shouldn't go over that $7.50 because it's raised up from last year, but whatever I don't spend, I get to use for fun house things. And then our entertainment category stays the same. This is things like eating out. It's extra things that we do like date nights. It pays for babysitting. It pays for, like, Livy and I go to open gym things. You have to pay for that. So things like that come out of this entertainment category, and that's $300 a month, and that's been working really well for us. And then I think I already said this, the kids category is $50 a month, and then I raised my allowance back up to $50 a month, and that's going to cover any scrapbook things I want, any extra household things I want. Like if I want a fancy face wash or something, it comes out of that. If I want a basic face wash, it comes out of the grocery budget. So it's just for like above and beyond things for just me. And now Johnny has a category technically in our budget and he never uses it. The only thing he really spends is for lunches for work, and I put that in the entertainment category, so he doesn't have to take it out of his like little section. And I put $25 a month for his category, but he never uses it. He just doesn't. If he wants something, it's generally like he goes and gets some junk food at the grocery store. I put that in the grocery budget. I make it work. I never take anything out of his budget, really. Like, he gets to spend whatever he wants because he spends so little. It's really hard to get him to buy anything for himself. He will be needing a new laptop this year probably, and we will just take it out. It'll be like miscellaneous or whatever. It's already kind of planned for, and it's just not going to be wrapped into actual budget numbers and categories. That's the only expense I see coming out for him. And now we've got a couple things, and we've already got the savings for this. I'm not including it in the budget where we're going to like track it against our month. We'll just put it in a miscellaneous category. We're going to need two major things for the house. One is gutters. All the houses here don't come with full gutters, so we're going to finish off all the gutters. And then we're also going to have to get blinds. So we didn't roll that into our mortgage. I thought it'd be better just to do it later. And so we will be cash flowing both of those things out of pocket when we get the house. So those are the two main expenses. They aren't actually budgeted in our year numbers because we already have some money earmarked for those things. So as far as our categories, they're all the same as last year. They're all the same sinking funds as last year. And I kept the vacation budget in the budget. We budgeted last year $3,000. We spent way more than that because we took a 2-weeker instead of a 1-weeker. And this year I have $3,000 in the vacation fund still because I really want us all to go back to the beach still. I think Stella will be old enough, and I just don't know if it's going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to happen logistically, like with a baby, with buying the house. I don't know if we're going to be able to take it, but I still have the money built into the budget, and I really hope that we can. I hope we can squeeze it in somewhere. Another thing, Uncle David is starting a new job soon, so I don't know if he's going to have vacation time, and it's just going to be kind of up in the air if we get to take the family vacation this year. Probably not, but I have it budgeted so that hopefully we can. And yeah, I think that covers everything as far as the budget goes. It's basically a lot of the same as last year. It's just we're going to try to stick to it a little better, and those three main things change. And I'm kind of excited about her being out of preschool and getting the new house and having more money every month in the budget, because that changes. And you know, 4 years down the line, we'll reevaluate Stella's preschool at that point. With my categories how they are now, we can still afford preschool out of the savings that we have every month. So we can definitely work it in. When the time comes for Stella to start preschool, we'll probably do her in just 4-year preschool, the year before kindergarten, because she'll have a big sister at home and have the socialization where Livy just didn't. We didn't have anybody to socialize with when she was little. So I felt like the 3-year preschool was more for social time, and then the 4-year preschool is really getting her ready for kindergarten. That covers everything. I'm happy with the numbers. I really think that $750 is really attainable, and if it's not, then something's wrong with what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that I can work everything in with that, and I hope to have a little extra every month that I can play around with to buy a picture here and there for a wall. I'm kind of like gamifying the budget. I want it to be fun and interesting, and I want to have a goal. So the goal is spend less than the number and get the reward. I can use it for whatever I want. I'm trying to make it fun and exciting for me, and Johnny just doesn't buy anything. He doesn't manage any of the expenses as far as like the day-to-day, the groceries and stuff, and whatever he buys, I just put into our budget. So he just gives me the receipt for whatever, and he's just not a big spender. So it's really like on me to keep track of things and not spend a bunch, and that covers everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will link to relevant playlists down below and relevant videos. I'll link to my budget 2019 video, and then my playlist has all of my month budgets through the last couple of years. I just didn't film them after Stella was born. I don't even think I filmed a September one, like right before Stella was born. So the last quarter of the year, I didn't film monthly updates because of baby, but I'm gonna try to do the monthly updates again. So early February, I hope to have a January budget update for you guys with my new numbers, my new categories, my new way of dividing the household versus the groceries. It's just like groceries and everything, and then house specific category separate. So I'm kind of excited to do it that way because there were so many times I had receipts with household and groceries on them, and I'd have to split them up in my spreadsheet. I'd have to like add from the receipt, and I'm hoping I don't have to do that. I'm excited to go into a new year. I'm excited for the changes that we have coming up financially, and I think that's it. So have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.